on Daring Greatly, Vulnerability and the Quiet Power of Small Doors. Dear Amelia Emberhart, I have been sitting with Daring Greatly lately, letting its ideas seep in slowly rather than rushing to extract conclusions. Brené Brown opens her work by invoking Theodore Roosevelt's Citizen in a Republic speech, the one we now simply call the man in the arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the one who points out how the strong stumble, but the one who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood. This idea lingers with me because it reframes courage. Courage is not about winning, it is about being all in, understanding that both victory and defeat are inevitable costs of participation. Vulnerability, in this sense, is not weakness. It is the price of admission to a meaningful life. We sacrifice relationships, growth, and love when we wait to be perfect people before stepping into the arena. When we try to become bulletproof before being seen. Life does not reward perfection. It responds to presence. We must dare to show up and let ourselves be seen. Wholehearted living. Wholehearted living, Brown argues, is about engaging with life from a place of worthiness, not conditional worthiness, not I will be enough when, but a grounded belief that no matter what I am enough. I am imperfect, I am vulnerable, I am afraid, and still I am brave, I am worthy of love. We are hardwired for connection. It is not a luxury, it's the reason we are here. Connection gives our lives meaning. People who experience deep love and belonging are not luckier or more talented. They simply believe they are worthy of it. And that belief does not magically appear. It is cultivated through courage, compassion, and connection. At the foundation of all three lies vulnerability. Scarcity, the never enough problem. Brown names the atmosphere we live in as scarcity, the unrelenting sense that we are never enough, never thin enough, successful enough, productive enough, admired enough. One of the more striking definitions she offers is this. Narcissism is a shame-based fear of being ordinary. Scarcity drives us to constantly measure what we have, what we lack, what others appear to have, and these comparisons are rigged from the start. We measure our messy, behind-the-scenes lives against curated, media-driven visions of perfection. Or worse, against memories so heavily edited by nostalgia that they never truly existed. Scarcity is sustained by three forces. 1. Shame. The belief that something is fundamentally wrong with us. 2. Comparison. The habit of measuring our worth against others. 3. Disengagement. The act of pulling away to avoid pain or failure. Together they keep us small, cautious, and disconnected. The myths of vulnerability. Perhaps the most persistent myth is that vulnerability is weakness. In reality, vulnerability is neither good nor bad. It simply is. To feel is to be vulnerable. Brown defines vulnerability as uncertainty, risk, and emotional exposure. It sounds like truth, it feels like courage. The word itself comes from vulnera, to wound. To be vulnerable is to be capable of being wounded. We love witnessing raw honesty in other people, but we are terrified to offer it ourselves. Their vulnerability looks like courage. Ours feels like inadequacy. We fear our truth is not enough. And yet, the question remains, what is worth doing even if I fail? Experiencing vulnerability is not optional. The only choice we have is how we respond when uncertainty and emotional exposure show up. Even choosing not to choose is still a decision. Vulnerability is also not oversharing. It is not a performance. It is about sharing our experiences and emotions with people who have earned the right to hear them. Using vulnerability to get attention or to fill unmet needs only deepens disconnection. Sliding doors. Trust built in inches, not leaps. Brown describes trust as something built in very small moments, what she calls sliding doors moments. The idea is beautifully illustrated by the film Sliding Doors, starring Gwyneth Paltrow as Helen Quilly. The film takes place in London and follows two parallel versions of Helen's life, split by a single ordinary moment. Whether she catches a train on the London Underground or watches the sliding doors close just before she reaches the platform. From that small divergence, two entirely different lives unfold. Different relationships, different discoveries, different heartbreaks. In one version, Helen makes the train, goes home earlier than expected, and uncovers a betrayal. In the other, she misses the train, experiences a brief delay that changes her timing, and remains unaware of what is happening behind her back. Nothing dramatic happens in that moment. No life-altering decision is made consciously, just a door opening or not. The film even marks these diverging paths visually. Helen's haircut changes, subtly signaling which version of her life we are watching. A small external difference reflects a growing internal distance between who she is becoming in each timeline. This is how trust works. You notice someone looks sad. You can walk by, or you can ask, "What is the matter?" That moment alone does not define the relationship, but hundreds of these moments, stacked quietly over time, do. Trust is not built through dramatic gestures. It grows through accumulation. Brown compares it to collecting marbles. Each small act of vulnerability adding one more marble to the jar. Disengagement, on the other hand, is a slow betrayal. It begins with tiny withdrawals, unreturned glances, avoided conversations, unspoken resentments. Over time, the jar empties. Trust requires full engagement, attention, effort, presence. The arena together. It is a waste of time to evaluate my worthiness by waiting the reactions of people sitting safely in the stands. The critics will always be there. What matters, Amelia, is who is in the arena with you. Sometimes you have to stand there alone, but often we do not dare greatly alone. We do it together. We fail together, we stumble together, we learn together. If not with others, then at least as a family. You, me, your mother, your sisters, we stand shoulder to shoulder, knowing that vulnerability is the cost of connection. And perhaps that is the quiet truth at the heart of daring greatly. Life is not about avoiding wounds. It is about choosing to live fully even when the outcome is uncertain. This is your moment. Take command and show us the path.